Shaw, you have food on your eyeball. How do you have porterhouse steak on your eye?
Well, good morning, gang. You know I had to start the day with something like that. I looked over and saw that piece of food hanging under his little eye, and I was like, what? God, give me that camera. How are you guys today? I hope you, so far, all the comments for the John Barrymore Errol Flynn vlog yesterday were so great. Everybody loved it, so I hope you guys enjoy today. I guess you won't mind going back out there, and this will be worth it, because I'm going to tell you the story of all the grounds, what happened to him, who all lived there, including not only Errol Flynn, but a singing cowboy turned Christian, a rock and roll singer, and a band actually formed there. A band that I listened to when I was in about 2nd grade formed in Errol Flynn's bedroom. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. And I mean now, like now, Jordan, go get a shower.
I think we're gonna wear this shirt today. I'm in a tie-dye mood. And I was going through my closet today, pulled this box of shoes out. I totally forgot I had these. My buddy, Big Earl, gave me, he has a massive shoe collection. He gave me this pair. These were the old Allen Iversons. I cleaned them up, put them in a box for a special occasion, and totally forgot about them. So I think I'll wear them today. Well, it's a beautiful day here in Los Angeles, California. I think today we're gonna start the day by giving Jaw a little bit of a walk. Let's go! Hollywood never misses a chance to jump on a bandwagon. See, I kind of consider the LA street art scene as kind of like the old political periodicals. Whatever's going on like politically in the world, you'll see it on the electrical boxes around here, just like you would have seen the old political cartoons. And I have to work all day tomorrow, so you're gonna get a pre-recorded vlog, and what I think it's gonna be is part 2 of the Hollywood Museum. And I don't want to give too many spoilers, but if you're wondering what more could you possibly have from that museum that's better than the first time, well, let's say Ruby Slippers and Lucille Ball. How's it going, Jaw? How you doing today, buddy? And today is officially 2 weeks until I head out to Belgium. That's a cool looking house. I like those stone accents over there. Pretty cool classic car alert, though. I can't imagine that the original color it came in was gray like that, was it? I've seen silver, but you don't really see that shade of gray too often. Was that an old factory standard setting? Oh look, more of those stone accents. Maybe that was an old thing here when they started building the properties here. And this is in the front of the yard. It's kind of an interesting idea. This is the kind of place that would be pretty cool to live in. Long driveway, and it's got that old villa style architecture to it. Man, I love that. You ready to go home, buddy? Suicide girls.
Alright, gang, you guys are going out to Mulholland Farm now, so keep this in mind while you're out there. After Errol Flynn owned it, there were 2 separate owners over like a 25-year span. One set of owners said that they never experienced any ghost activity. One set of owners said that they did. Welcome back, Lionhearts. I hope you enjoyed what you saw yesterday. This is going to be a continuation and a whole different section of the Errol Flynn history that I hadn't covered yesterday. And I do hope you enjoyed it, so thank you for coming back today. This is going to be fun. So we're back to Errol Flynn's address. This wasn't the original house, but this is the original property. And he actually purchased this in 1941. He had enjoyed so far a pretty good career as a swashbuckling action star, much like John Barrymore that we mentioned yesterday, and purchased this house and had it built. It was notorious for having just tons of windows, so it had a ton of natural light. It had a heavy stained varnish and everything, so it had a heavy pine forest smell to it when you walked in the house. Now, when Errol lived here, this street was actually called Flynn Ranch Road, and his property took up everything that we're going to walk past now. Everything on this side of the street was his. And this was basically the main driveway. You took this all the way to where we're gonna end, and then right where the entrance is, it's actually Justin Timberlake's house that we're gonna be walking to. Once we get there, that was where his driveway was. And even though all the property has been raised, the house that Justin Timberlake lives in and where his pool and everything is pretty much located the same place where ERROL's was. Now, ERROL Flynn was a well-known womanizer and partier his whole life, so this was basically, Mulholland Farm was to be his playland. He actually had built-in secret passageways behind the bar. He had, and when you took that passageway, creepily enough, it actually took you to an overlook that overlooked the women's bathroom. Now, I actually knew about this property from Shelley Winters. Shelley Winters told me a story about the few months that she dated ERROL Flynn and would go out sailing with him. She actually had a double date here on this property with Clark Gable, Yvonne DiCarlo, who played Lily Munster, ERROL Flynn, and Shelley. Now, apparently the date didn't have any specifications, so ERROL Flynn basically let the girls decide who they wanted. And Shelley said that her and Yvonne went off to the side to go to the bathroom, and Yvonne said, "Why don't you go with ERROL? Clark, everybody's had Clark. You'll have your time with him." And Shelley said, realistically, like, I think she just wanted Clark. But Shelley started dating him, and she said his bedroom had a mirrored ceiling and white satin sheets. And so that may give you a little bit of an idea as to what this place was all about. Now, it was 11.5 acres, and ERROL Flynn had a wife named Lily. And when they realized it wasn't going to work out, ERROL was heavily in debt. He owed spousal support, child support, was going through a rape trial when he lived here, and basically in 1953 he just packed up and took off to Italy and made movies in Italy for the rest of his life. So what ended up happening then was Lily portioned out the land and started selling it, and ERROL died in 1959. So when ERROL died in 1959, Stuart Hamblin, a gospel singer and songwriter, bought this property, lived here for 20 years, and then sold it to Rick Nelson, the famous Ricky Nelson from Ozzie and Harriet. And he lived here, he bought it in 1980, moved in and lived here from 1980 till 86, and then it was reported that he was going through so much financial distress that he, under the table, sold it to one of his buddies on like a handshake deal. So when ERROL eventually died, it became kind of wishy-washy as to who owned it, how the property would be split up, and whatnot. Now, Rick Nelson's sons, Gunnar and Matthew, actually said that they formed their band in ERROL Flynn's bedroom. Now, they said they were the very last people to live in the house before it was sold and raised by developers, and they said that it really had to happen. This property was, it was very interesting because it was a two-story house. He also had horse stables, he had a barn, he had a pool, he had a, what else? He had a casino. And they said by the time they were living here, when you walked in the house, all you could smell was dry rot. The buildings were pretty much falling apart, and they didn't really have any other option but to, you know, the new people that bought it, for them to basically raise the house, unfortunately. Now, originally the property that was 11.5 acres was split into 3 sections. Now I'm reading that it's actually 7 sections now. And the main section where ERROL's house was bought by Helen Hunt in the early 2000s, and she built a house on the property and then never moved in and sold it to Justin Timberlake, who lives there now. Now, like I said, the property kind of goes in a slant. So when we get up here, right where the gate entrance is that I show you, that's where the entrance is that ERROL Flynn would have driven in as well. ERROL Flynn actually died penniless, in bed with his teenagers. It's just a sad story to see how this all went down, because Mulholland Farm at the time was known as the most rich, luxurious property and kind of written about property in Hollywood. Everybody knew what went on here, and it was just sad to see such a historic place go down, basically just because they never took care of it. And so this would have been the end of Flynn Ranch Road at the time, and then the property actually extends all the way down this hill that you can't see, and his driveway would have been right here. Now I actually used to, like I said, now Justin Timberlake lives there, and I used to actually, when I told you guys I had that night driving job where I delivered fitness meals, he was actually one of our clients. So I just went up to the security shack and just told them what I was doing so they wouldn't be alarmed. They were like, oh, thank you, no problem at all. Like, but I do love the fact that somebody like Justin Timberlake lives here now, because I think that dude's actually pretty cool. Out of like that whole era of like the kind of the teeny bopper singers and everything that came out, I've always found him to be pretty cool, like in interviews and in Alpha Dog, and even some of his records recently. So pretty cool that he owns the old ERROL FLYNN estate, and the ERROL FLYNN estate where the house was actually at, where the pool is, like he's basically recreated, or Helen Hunt, whoever did that, they've actually recreated kind of the memory of ERROL FLYNN. And when you're out on that pool, you would actually be looking at the same exact landscape and everything that Errol and all of his guests and his numerous women, when he lived here, Shelley was not the only person that he was hooking up with. He was with Hedy Lamarr, Anne Rutherford, Dorothy Lamour. I mean, you name it. He, like I said, in like Flynn, this guy was known for just being charming and living life to the fullest, all the way till he died with a teenager. So this whole stretch that we just walked, all the way up to the end of the street, was all his property over here at one point. And ironically, in the last year of Errol's life, he actually played John Barrymore in a movie written by John Barrymore's daughter about her life. Full circle. What a great looking sky today. Whew. Hey, what's up guys? I hope you guys enjoyed going out and seeing or hearing about all the people that lived out at Mulholland Farm. Isn't that nuts? If you don't know Nelson's music, when I mentioned that earlier in the vlog, if that was something that I listened to when I was in like elementary school, they had two songs that were pretty big at the time. They were called After the Rain and what was the other one? Love and Affection. Those were actually, they're really catchy songs even to this day, and they were Rick Nelson's twin sons, and they both had like blonde hair that went all the way down to about their waist, and basically not one hit wonder, like 2 hit wonders, and but they're worth checking out. The songs are still good, so there you go. I wanted to do a big shout out. You guys, a lot of you know that, and somebody actually a lot of you said this was going to be karma. Remember when I got my headshots taken the last time from Nicole, and I never got the headshots, and then she like blocked me, so then I did a whole post on here about how I had paid this woman to do my headshots. She sent me the low-res versions to choose from. When I selected them, a month later she still hadn't got me the final ones, and then when I asked for the final one, she blocked me. So I've been real hesitant about getting headshots, but there's been really like other friends that are actors give me recommendations for other photographers, and there's only one photographer that I've actually been recommended. It was the guy that I shot with, Exact Digital. His name's Andy Rooney, and I've been watching his posts like over probably the last 6 months or a year, and I've just been like, next time I do my headshots, I gotta do them with that guy because his work is just stellar. I was really happy with what I saw out of his camera when we were taking the photos, and he actually got me the proofs the next day. That's like unheard of. And what he said was, he said that he's been watching my channel and he really liked my channel, and so he kind of helped me out. He had checked out my channel before the headshot session, and our deal was I was going to pay for 2 looks, 2 changes of clothes. But I took like 5 or 6 because I figured he knows what works best. I'll let him choose what I'm going to wear. He actually chose like 5 outfits and did all 5 and didn't charge me for those extra 3 looks. And then, you know, the retouches, you have to always pay extra. Every single photographer charges you extra for retouches. So I sent all the photos that he had done to my agent and my manager both, and they both selected what they wanted. My manager had selected like 6 photos, and my agent selected 10. So I'm gonna have to pay for all of those retouches plus to put them on the the LA casting site, they charge you $25 for your first photo and then $15 for every photo after that. So I'm looking at basically 3 times what I paid for headshots just to get the finished product and put them online. Well, the guy, Andy, from Exact Digital, sent me a message and actually said, man, I've really been digging your channel, and I really appreciated you mentioning it and showing it in your vlog the other day. So I'll tell you what, I'll just do all your retouches for you, like pick out like 9 of them, and I'll just do them for you free, like, because I like what you're doing. So that never happens in this town, so I totally owe that guy a favor. And if you're watching this, man, thank you so much. Like, I'm getting ready to do a big vlogging expedition, and you just saved me a ton of money, so like, thank you. That's total karma for what how bad Nicole screwed me over last time. So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. So I'm gonna call it a night. Have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I actually have to work, but you will be seeing a fantastic museum tour. Goodbye.